Well, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Don with Gear and Gaming, and today we are going to try and see just how optimized Battlefield 6 is by trying to run it on this. This is an RX 470. It does have 8 gigabytes of VRAM, since everybody cares about VRAM in graphics cards nowadays, which is also a slight comment on the fact that a 5060 also has 8 gigabytes of VRAM in it right now, but we'll move past that. So this is an RX 470. It sits just above like a 1650. You'll get slightly better performance out of it than like an RX 6400 that you could buy new nowadays. And yeah, it was a really good card in 2016 when it launched. But here we are, 9 years, almost 10 years later, and can it still run a AAA title like Battlefield? Battlefield has been famously well optimized. I guess I should say famously in some circles, well optimized. But we're going to put it to the test. We're going to see if that optimization will still work with a card like this. And a card, by the way, that doesn't have Battlefield-specific drivers for it. AMD last put out legacy drivers for cards of this age in August of 2025. So this last summer. So no Battlefield-specific ones, so it's just running off of kind of a generic driver, and we're going to see what we got. And right before we hop into it, let's talk about the system we put this 470 in. It's an Aquinas Computers build. We pulled an RTX 3060 Ti out of, replaced it with a 470. And it's a Ryzen 5 3600 CPU with 16 gigabytes of 3600 megahertz RAM in it. There's G-Skill RAM sets, rather good DDR4 RAM in there. And yeah, I think it's a good use case for a 470. It's not something you wouldn't find a 470 in generally. If you've upgraded or you bought a cheaper computer back in the day, this could have been a system you'll see a card like this in nowadays. So instead of going with we'll isolate the GPU by putting it into a DDR5 or AM5 system, and just making sure everything's just wildly better than it. I think testing in a system that is reasonable to the card gives us a better view of what you could actually get in real life. So now that we've gone over that, let's hop into the gameplay and see what we see. All right, popping in here, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to look at first just running on low settings. Now, I would not pretend that this game is going to run on anything but low settings, but we're going to see how good it goes on low. And here we are hopping into our first game, and this game is going to be on Operation Firestorm, so one of the bigger maps in Battlefield 6, and as you can see, we're running 60 FPS outside. It's not a very busy area we're in right now, but it's still running 60 plus FPS with decent response times on the frame timing. You know, you're looking 15, 14 milliseconds, getting up to 16 or 17 there when stuff starts happening. And now, as you can see, as we're starting to get close to things, that you're seeing dips into the 50s. But look how good it looks. It looks rather well. You're not seeing an overt amount of screen tear. And this is, by the way, with VSync off. So it's putting out as many frames as it can. And you can see that the card is pegged at 100%. And you can also see that it's using almost 6 gigabytes of VRAM, which can be a limiting factor in something like the 2060 or the 1660. Some of those cards have a 6 gigabyte VRAM buffer, and on these settings, you're starting to bump into it. And you would probably start seeing a bit of a downgrade to the performance those cards give you. Next up, we're going to turn down the fixed resolution scale. So now we're scaling down the image a little bit. This is like if we had changed the resolution to 720. In Battlefield, you can use a slider to do it. We're going to get a bit less visual fidelity in our gameplay. But as you can see, turning the scale down, we upped our FPS a bit. Now we're holding mid 60s, still 100% on the card. And this is with FSR. Granted, it's FSR 1. Is with FSR on balanced in an 80% resolution scale. I think the game still looks rather well. And look, all that stuff falling, all that crap coming down, explosions from the ceiling, and we're still holding a locked 60. If you put a frame rate limiter on, put it at 60 FPS, you'll never dip below it, it doesn't look like. Frame times are still good. You're still popping around the mid-teens on that. And look at the frame time graph. The frame time graph is very, very flat, which is good. You're not getting spikes and things like that you're going to notice as a stutter when you're playing the game. And even there, you can see our system has a Ryzen 5 3600 in it, and it's working up to 75%. That's the FSR that's doing that. All right, and next up, we're going to go and turn on frame generation. So we put the resolution scale back up to 100%, so we're getting all the full visual fidelity that we should be. But now we've turned on FSR frame gen. Now, that's the cool thing about FSR is it's available even on old cards like this. And you can see it's really helped. It's really helped our frames. We're getting 90 breaking 100 frames per second. And you can see as the game pans around, there's more ghosting. Things are leaving some image behind a little bit more. Things are a bit blurrier when they move quickly around. That's the frame gen working. The frame time has dropped, but I will say I noticed a bit of input lag when I was doing this. Like you can just feel a touch of lag when you have this on. But it's not bad, and it's not something that you can't adapt to as well. And so we've seen, the 100 FPS or so that we're getting with frame gen and getting bagged. So now we're going to turn off frame gen and we're going to turn our upscaler to quality. So the best visual fidelity that we're going to get with FSR on, and just see how it looks. See what kind of frame rates we get and see how it looks. As you can see, we're getting kind of a mid 50s. But the game looks good. It felt pretty good. You can see that our frame time has jumped a little bit. We're getting closer to 20 milliseconds now. And you're starting to see a little bit more screen tearing that's going on, and that's just the card's not keeping up as well. It's pegged at 100% like it has been. As you can see now with that quality on for the textures and things like that, we're above 6 gigabytes of VRAM usage, which would hold back a 1660 or a 2060. Something to think about, something to note if you're looking to use some of those kind of cards on this. But yeah, real close to a 60 FPS, and the game looks pretty good, especially outside where it doesn't have to render quite as much. You can still get some good playing in. Well, and there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Not to belabor the point, but you can definitely run Battlefield 6 on an old card like this, on an old RX 470. And I would venture if a 470 will run it, a 570 or anything moving upwards in the AMD stack will probably run it just as well, if not better. Things that really save this card are FSR. We've had FSR on all of this, whether it be on quality or balanced. Generally, we ran balanced. That seemed to be the best balance of frame time and visual fidelity. But if you want to feel like you need more frames, you can always turn that resolution down a little bit, get a few more frames. Or if you're really wanting to maximize the frames and you don't mind that just smidge of input lag, you can turn on frame gen, and that's very cool on AMD's part that they've made that available even on a 10-year-old card. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. RX 470 gear and gaming approved to play Battlefield 6 if you don't mind doing the low settings. If you like this kind of content, we'd truly appreciate a subscribe down below. That would help us out greatly to try and grow the channel and get more people our content. We're going to keep trying to put out stuff like this, some of this fun little outro things that you won't find other places, those interesting things, and maybe you got somebody that you can now go out and safely buy a 474 that you know wants to play Battlefield. Heck, you probably buy a computer for about 3 times the cost of the game with a 470 in it. But I digress. Thank you very much for your time and attention, and please, again, hit that subscribe button and comment down below if there's anything you want to see us test in the future going forward. Till next time, I hope you're well, and we'll see you then.